Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
Alright guys, WalkingPed93 here, and thanks for tuning in. I'm not going to waffle around too much with an introduction. In the UK right now it's 27 degrees and I'm sat on a leather chair at my PC, like if you cry every time. There are a few things of note to mention though. The first night map, Nivelle Nights, will be coming at the end of the month. The second, Prise de Tahur, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, is coming in July. August is Gamescom month, when we finally get to see In the Name of the Tsar in action, which we mere mortals finally get to play in September. I'm looking forward to seeing how those new Eastern Front setting maps look in the Frostbite engine. I have a feeling those snow and mountain maps are going to look particularly beautiful. On to what I really want to talk about, and that is the addition of a true competitive mode in Battlefield 1. Whilst it's good to see that DICE and EA are committed to bringing new things to Battlefield, I have to say I can't shake my skepticisms. Competitive Battlefield is something that EA have been trying to push since the release of Battlefield 3. In 2011, DICE with Virgin Gaming, yes, Virgin actually tried to enter the gaming industry, had plans for a Battlefield 3 competition with a $1.6 million prize pot. It was open to Xbox 360 and PS3 players, but strangely, not PC. Just think about that for a second. A competitive FPS with a strong PC presence like Battlefield, not getting a competition on PC. I think that may be why, in the end, it never actually happened. That didn't stop some players setting up their own competitions at LANs and conventions, however, and semi-pro Battlefield 3, for lack of a better definition, proved to be quite popular. Just search YouTube if you don't believe me. This is where part of my skepticism comes from, however. EA were quick to exclude the PC community, which was arguably where the money, players and audience is for competitive gaming. Just look at CSGO, League of Legends and Dota 2. The biggest competitive games out there are all PC exclusives, and how do these tournaments reach their audience? By live streaming on Twitch and YouTube, services intrinsic to the PC. I may be being cynical though. EA are obviously watching the CSGO majors and seeing the massive audience and advertising numbers, and are obviously thinking that they want a piece of that action. The other main issue I have is the overall game design of Battlefield 1. As it stands, I do not feel it is really ready for a competitive experience. I base that mainly on the gunplay and not so much the map design. Gunplay and weapon balance in Battlefield 1 is terribly oversimplified in comparison to previous Battlefield games. The term you might hear to describe this is rock, paper, scissors style weapon balance. One weapon is best in this scenario, another weapon is best in this scenario, and so forth. Whereas if you take Battlefield 4 with its wealth of weapons and attachments, the differences between most weapons are a bit more subtle, with a few standouts. I'm looking at you, AEK. Weapons like the Automatico Trench are the best example I can provide. Point, click, enemy down. There's no recoil to compensate for, and in a 1v1 against an enemy medic, let's say, they just don't have a chance. Now take a game I do have some degree of authority to comment on other than Battlefield, and that's Rainbow Six Siege. Now, Siege is obviously built from the ground up as a competitive experience. The maps are complicated as hell, every operator offers a unique gameplay modifier, and most have unique weapons. It's not all perfect though. Ash doesn't have a hitbox, she just doesn't, and seeing anyone play Tachanka is rarer than a unicorn. What Siege offers in droves that BF1 doesn't is gameplay depth. The destruction in Siege requires much more player agency. You can create small murder holes in walls or remove the wall altogether. Battlefield 1 also has a fair degree of destruction, but it's a bit more of a blunt force. This is to create the all-out war feel of big conquest matches, so I'm not sure how taking out an entire wall with a limpet charge will work in a 5v5 scenario, but we'll just have to wait and see. So anyway guys, I've said my piece of this video. I feel like competitive Battlefield is something that EA have been trying to pull off for years now, and just haven't been able to properly execute it. Over the past few years, large tournaments have become massively popular, and EA, despite their size with the amount of franchises under their belt, are one of the only big game companies that don't have a franchise in the pro scene. I'll end this video by saying that I think EA are making a mistake by trying to pursue Battlefield as their competitive franchise. BF1 was made with a wider audience in mind. that audience probably isn't interested in watching pro teams play for massive prize pots. The best thing I can think they do is create a new franchise built from the ground up for competitive gaming, just like Rainbow Six Siege and just like CSGO. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.